Hi, everybody. This is Holland Martin, and thanks for joining me today to 2017 Marion High School graduate Lorenzo Trevino. Thanks for joining me today, Zoe.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Man, so let's we'll bounce around a little bit, but let's go right into what you're doing now. Uh, what's going on with you now as far as boxing and things like that? I heard you recently turned professional.
Yeah, so I actually went pro with this management out of Sacramento, California.
Hmm.
It's one of the top ones in the country. It's one of the top gyms in the country. But everybody flies all around the world just to come to that gym.
Hmm.
I signed with them. It's called Team Alpha Male.
Okay.
So they basically will be managing my pro career for the
Hmm.
MMA side, and then my boxing stuff. I don't have any manager for boxing yet, but I have a lot of big known names in the
Hmm.
boxing world that can give me those bigger fights.
Yes, yes. Do you have any lined up in either MMA or boxing coming up?
So I'm hoping to get one either the end of September or October for
Hmm.
MMA. Want to get like maybe two by the end of the year, and maybe my pro boxing debut.
Okay.
Hopefully on the undercard of Frank Martin.
Mhm. So that is about 6 weeks away for that one toward the end of September there. And Frank
Yeah,
Martin, I've seen you on social media and things with, I think he's out of Indianapolis.
yeah. So he's originally from Detroit, Michigan, but
Mhm.
he used to train with me out of Indianapolis, and then he moved from Indianapolis to Dallas, Texas.
Okay. Okay. Good to
Yeah.
have those ties, man. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. We've been friends for a long time, even before that, before he even
oh, yeah.
uh went and moved down to Dallas. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's
And,
always good. It's always good, man.
and so I see you come back home. What are you doing now that you're back home in Marion? Uh, what's going on?
Yeah, so now that I'm back home, I cut hair part time over here
Mhm.
in Marion, and then what I do is I drive all the way down to Indianapolis, to get my training in. And
Yes.
if I don't get it in Indianapolis, I stay in town, go to Planet Fitness, go to the YMCA,
Hmm.
go with my old coach, that coached me from when I first started in boxing.
Yes.
His name's Hook,
Yeah.
James
Oh, yeah.
James Williamson.
Oh, yeah. From the
Yep.
boys club, from the old, it used to
Yep.
be at the boys
Yep.
club. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so he's at the YMCA now. So
Hmm. Big fan of
yeah.
Hook.
If you
Always.
guys Yeah, if you guys want to learn the basics, man, that's the man to go to.
He's the real deal. He is. He's legit.
Yeah.
Deal. Um, so now that you're, kind of doing all that, let's go to the beginning. Let's go to
Yeah.
where you were born. What neighborhood you were born in, what elementary school you went to. Some of the
Yeah.
because I remember you. I remember you. Uh, just I've known you for years, man. I
Yeah.
love you. I literally love you. Uh, I remember the boys club 2011. We won that championship, and you was the
Yeah. Yep.
quarterback. You know what I mean? When we had, it
Yeah.
was an all-star team, man. Coach Pimp, Rob, me as the coaches, and then we had just an all-star team, boy. And that
Yeah.
yellow team brought that thing home, man. But that was my
Yeah. Yeah. We
introduction to
did.
you. You
Yeah,
was
we
just a
did. We
dog, boy. What's your
so
memories
I
about
started I started in I was born from Marion,
that? Hmm.
born over here, born and raised. Uh yeah, I started playing football with us. Second grade tackle football. Uh but yeah, man, I went to pretty much almost every elementary you could think of.
Hmm.
I went to Allen, Southeast, Francis Slocum, uh, Kendall. Went to a lot of,
All of them.
uh, yeah, bunch of different ones. I was
Hmm.
moving from back and forth with my mom, dad, my grandparents.
Hmm.
So yeah, man. I was everywhere. But yeah, football, man. Football was, one of my true loves, man. Yeah,
That's why I
definitely.
love that. Football,
Yeah,
not people. I made a Facebook post. Somebody was in my D. I made a Facebook post that said, "Football is my one true love," or something aside acting or something. It was like,
Yeah.
"Don't you love your?" Oh yeah, that goes without saying. I love my kids and my parents and all that
Yeah,
crap.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about outside of them.
Mm-hmm.
Football is my true love.
Yeah.
So I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
Yeah, man. I miss it. I miss it, man. I miss playing football.
Hey, you know what? Let's go right into it. So you know,
Yeah.
my nickname around here is the historian. So when dudes at the Chronicle and other guys on social media is
Yeah.
done, but I'm up next.
Yeah.
So what I got is your freshman year of Marion, and
Yeah.
now you play with your brother.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
talk to me about playing with your brother, because not a lot of your older brother, you're a freshman, he's a
Yeah.
senior. Talk about that.
Man, it was crazy, man. Ever since we were little, we was always padding up, going against each other, him making
Mm-hmm.
me better, him just always making me compete, you know.
Yes.
Even though he was older than me,
Mm-hmm.
him and my dad were always pushing me to try to be the best,
Yes.
And nah, man, it was crazy. It was a great experience. Some memories, I won't ever forget. Me and
Mm-hmm.
my brother played football for years. And when we actually got on the field together,
Yeah. But
it
now,
was just like we backyard football. You
you
know
know
what I
what I
mean?
mean? Now,
Yeah. So
I got the stats. So at
yeah,
first, uh, it was that loss to Madison Grant. You didn't really play much until the Anderson game, but
yep,
uh, we lost to Madison Grant. Now that
mm,
second game was the only win of the season. We beat Newcastle. Your brother had a real big game, 33-10. We beat Newcastle, but then we
yeah,
lost. We lost. We
yeah,
lost. Now the sixth game come in. Uh,
hmm
you make your debut. Now before that sixth game, were they kind of having you in there? Was JV quarterback, things like that? But when did the
So I
possibility?
actually, I actually never got to play JV or with my freshman class. I never got to.
Good.
Uh, I was always you
Back.
know, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
was. It was my brother. I forget who the second guy was,
Mm-hmm.
and then me.
Okay.
But I knew the uh, the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I knew the play. I studied the playbook, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a freshman, so I didn't expect to get in. You know what I mean? But I was on other like special teams when I was a
Mm-hmm.
freshman. I
Also.
was on special teams, kickoff, punt return, all that, just out of toughness, just being tough. But
That's it.
yeah, man, really when I got in there, it was crazy. It was a crazy experience. My brother got hurt,
Mm-hmm.
and they sent I think who was it? Jordan Barnett. You know,
Yeah.
then he realized, what quarterback was really, yeah, man, quarterback.
Yeah. And it
A
was
lot of people don't realize until you're in there what it
they're
takes.
coming at you.
Yeah, yeah, because
So
they're coming. What I mean,
yes.
we didn't have some really really great line. What I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was too fast. We
Yeah.
were all younger too, though. Like their class, they actually had a good class. What I mean,
It
I feel
was.
like the coaching just really didn't know how
Yeah.
to use
That's what it was.
everybody.
Because I'm looking at it had what Javon Yako, Jordan Fierstein. I mean, you
Yep.
still had Jermaine Smith. I mean, you guys had some dogs.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, they had players.
that Anderson game, start of the third quarter, you in there, and you didn't do
Yeah.
bad. 7 out of 12,
Yeah.
100
Yeah.
yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nico threw one to Jermaine Smith in the fourth. Derek had one in the third. I mean,
hmm I
they
actually brought
scored.
them in. Because of when I was when they put me in, I was used to my wide receivers,
Yeah.
Derek and Xavier Fuller.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed it. Like I was just used to them, even since we were kids, throwing back and forth with each other,
Yeah.
and I told the coach like, hey man, put in my wide receivers, let's
Yeah.
and we'll go
Let's do
from
it.
there. And yeah, that's how it happened. They brought them in. Like, all right, bring
You
them
know.
in. I remember the specific time about when I first went in. Like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
it's different ball game. It's a
Oh
lot
yeah, it's the
faster.
real deal now.
You know,
So,
yeah, it's
so now next, the next game is Kokomo, and you went
mhm.
4 for 7, 44 yards. Your brother played in that game too. He had, his first half, his arm was in a sling. It was like, did he
Yeah.
come back the second half and play?
In Kokomo game,
Yeah, because he got 3 out of 10 for 65 yards. It's like both of y'all played together in that homecoming game.
yeah, I think
We lost
yeah, I think he
56
was
to
still
6.
hurt. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
think he was still hurt.
He was still hurt.
Yeah, he was still hurt when that happened. Like he went in for a little bit
Mm-hmm.
and it just went right back. I don't know. I forget what it was.
It was like y'all did play, I think, in that game together for a little bit.
Yeah,
But now,
yeah.
now we on the Muncie Central. Now you threw a 54-yard pass to the 1 yard line on the very first play at that Muncie game. But you got 9 for 26, 147 yards, and like the legitimate first freshman starter in like 10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the Shane Nevers or something since. But now we play Jay County, and we got that 1-9 record. And it was tough. That Jay County game was the Delvon last game. I heard after the game it was crazy after that game on the bus. Yeah, we lost 50-16. Jordan Fierstein had a 82-yard kickoff return in the first quarter. You got 8 for 19, 80 yards and a touchdown, but you did throw 3 interceptions in that game.
Yeah, man, really just it
that's a
hadn't been
crazy
the
game,
jitter.
man.
It hadn't been freshman.
Mm-hmm.
I was young. I was nervous, probably.
So freshman season is in the books. Let's
Mm-hmm.
move on. So you that freshman year, you had 325 yards, 2 TDs, 22 out of 49 passes, 3 interceptions, 45%, which not bad.
That's
Now,
crazy. That's crazy that you bring up all the stats. It's crazy.
well,
I
hey,
never really broke it down like that.
I'm telling you, I'm just going to keep getting better. I just need to get like new equipment, new scenery, change stuff,
Yeah,
how
that's
I
cool,
do it.
man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, the reason why I brought that up is because that was my son Delvon's last game, was that JV game.
Yeah.
And him and the head coach kind of got into a little bit of back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
So me and the head coach at the time, which is the same coach that sophomore year of yours, we played together back in high school. So he took me from McCullough. I was coaching at McCullough with Coach Monty at the time, and he said, "Come over to the high school." So my first game ever was that Madison Grant game. That was like a movie. It was like a movie, dog. What I remember about that, I remember being nervous that it was my first game. And then I remember sweat beads was all around us in the back. And then I remember, Madison Grant came to play. Like they had us up 22-0 at halftime. And then you turned that thing up. We scored 25 unanswered points. First, it was a 17-yard pass to
this was
Johnson.
sophomore year, right?
Yep, sophomore year. That first game at Madison Grant that we came back from behind and won. It was like a movie. It was like a movie, man. They could make a movie out of it.
I remember that specific game, man.
It was crazy. Game. I remember Terrell crying.
Looking at Noah Graham.
I was crying.
Looking at
crazy.
Spencer Reynolds, looking at all of them. I'm like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Y'all wanna do it? Let's do it, man. We're gonna drive down this field.
And we did it. So, like I said, that 17-yard pass to Derek made it 22-6.
Mm-hmm.
Defense stopped him. Then you had an 8-yard run, and then Will took a 78-yard and just went zigzagging all the way through. Will took that one in. We didn't get the 2-point. We couldn't get the 2-point conversion. So then it was then Derek caught that short little pass, and then Derek was gone.
Boom. Yeah, the little hitch.
Yeah, caught that thing, man. He was gone. So then everybody was jumping. It was crazy. I knew something was going to happen. We was going to win. Then you had a 2-yard run. You ran that thing.
Yeah, well, I had to blast it in there. I remember Cedric. I told him, I was like, hey, man, I need you to block somebody for me, because all we need is these 2 yards. We're gonna
That's
get in
it,
there. We're gonna
man.
win this game.
And
We're gonna win the game.
you won that thing, man.
Yeah,
You won that for us, man. It was like a freaking movie. Will had 11 carries for 140 yards, and it was just crazy. You
man.
had
Yeah,
9 carries, 52 yards, 6 out of 13 for 80, and 2 TDs and 2 interceptions, man. You was
yeah.
on that
I
thing,
remember
man.
that game. We
That
just
was
had to hurry up,
it was
get on
crazy.
the gas.
Yeah. Now the next game was our first home game at we played Mount Vernon. You're the quarterback that christened in the new turf. You're the quarterback that played.
Yeah,
It was the very first quarterback played on that turf, and we lost 42-9. But you had a 31-yard TD running that thing too. Uh,
yeah. I remember
you know what I'm
that one.
saying? And
Mm-hmm.
4 of 11 passes, 25 yard run too. Yeah, 2 touchdowns in that thing.
I think so. Yeah.
57 yards rushing. Will got
Mm-hmm.
injured in the first quarter after 3 carries, so it was like you was running that thing. And
Yeah.
even though we lost, I mean, you scored. Uh,
Yeah,
so now,
man.
we moving on to Kokomo. Uh, it said you didn't start. That was when we had that. That was remember we played Friday and then we went back the very next
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that was
Got
when
rained out.
Rico scored on that jet sweep,
Yeah,
and
we
he
got
was the only
rained
one to
out.
score. But you didn't
Yeah,
start that game, but you still had 4 for 10, 56 yards that Friday night. And then when we came back that Saturday, uh, you had 7 out of 17 for 77 yards, 1 interception, but they sacked you like 5 times, man. They was just
man. Yeah, man.
oof.
That whole year, man, it just felt like nonstop. Hurry
Yeah,
up, get it, and
it
throw
was
it.
it was crazy. Like your toughness is what pulled you through. I thought, like being there on the sideline as assistant coach, I thought, man, this dude was tough as hell, man. I mean,
Yeah, man.
it was tough. Um, so now moving on to the next game is Anderson. Uh, you had a pick six on a screen pass in that game, and
Oh yeah, I remember.
you know what I'm saying. But Trey, Rowe, Spence caught touchdowns, and then you had a touchdown run in that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Will muffed a punt, uh, and we was up at 21-3 at halftime. But shit,
Yeah,
them boys, Anderson came back and beat us 37-28, man. And
yeah, I
it was
remember
kind of
that.
deflating. We had 4 lost fumbles, 2 muffed punts, 2 interceptions. Uh, Will did get a 75-yard run in the third quarter, but it just was kind of too little too late. And Anderson
Yeah.
came. But on to the next game now. A home game against Richmond. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you got 10 passes, 21 yards, or 10 for 21, 232 yards and 3 TDs, which was like nice for us. That was
Yeah.
you getting used to things and getting better in the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was 8, and both teams combined for 8 second half TDs. But you had a big 63-yard pass to Derek that kind of sparked things. And X Fuller had, I think, 3 touchdowns and 2 touchdowns. 65-yarder from you in the third and a 17-yarder in the fourth. But Richmond was a little bit too much. But
Yeah.
now on to the next is homecoming. We lost that one. And Logansport had a touchdown with like 34 seconds left.
And the homecoming, man, I remember that game. The homecoming, man, we should have won that
We
one.
should. Logansport just right at the end, and they
No,
just
I remember. Well, the thing was, there were a lot of people who don't realize, besides me and Derek, uh, they gave him the wrong sheet, the wrong.
mm-hmm.
So he had, I think Xavier's sheet.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two different, two different
Yeah,
things for them both to do. So
it was.
what he did was he ran a out,
Mm-hmm.
and his play on that one was supposed to be a slant.
Mm-hmm.
So I was waiting for him to cross, and as soon as he crossed, I threw it,
Mm-hmm. But he
to
went the
lead
other
him.
way.
He went the other way,
Yeah.
and that's when we got that pick.
Mm-hmm.
And we were, me and Derek were both going at it with each other.
Mm-hmm.
No,
I
and
had
I'm
the
reading. I'm
wrong.
telling him,
Yeah.
yeah, you showed me. And we looked at the coach and we told him, like, hey, that's
Your
your
ass.
fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in all fairness, I'm still on the coaching staff there. And I mean, it's day and night from where it was 10 years ago to where it is now. Man. It's college
I
concept.
think it
was just
that was just a dumb play, really, on the coach. They should have gave him, that, because every time they would switch bands, whenever another wide receiver come in, boom, and try to flip the band. So they gave him the wrong band.
He ran the other way. I'm looking for a slant, and he run a dog.
Yeah, so, I'll never forget that.
But on the next game,
man,
we were at Muncie Central, and you had an 18-yard pass to X, but we got a safety and a field goal, but they beat us 40-11. So it was it wasn't great.
Muncie had a lot of older guys. See, that's what it was wrong. We just had a young team.
Yeah,
we was really young. A lot of my class was playing the varsity class when we
was freshmen.
As freshmen.
And in fairness, though, that was the game that Cedric couldn't play. So Cedric couldn't play. Things were, you want to talk about the end of the season, but Cedric couldn't play, and it was just Muncie had Bonzi Wells' son was over there, I think, and it was just too much. But now senior night, you're a sophomore senior night, Huntington North, they was running our asses over what I can remember. They took the opening playoff 91 yards to the touchdown, and the opening play 65 yards for another touchdown. Man, Will did get 88 yards rushing, and you got 4-12 for 95 yards, but they sacked us 5 times.
It's just
I mean,
you can't do nothing if you can't let it out there. You got to have some time.
1, 2, 3, let it go. If it's
I remember Phil. He said, "Look at this, look at this." And he said, "Look at the time," and you could just see it. 1, 2, they're ready. The hands already on me.
Yeah. We got Olay defense. But so I mean, it was tough, but we still got more games. Now we go to at Harrison. We don't have said any. We don't have said anymore. So the last, we go to Harrison. You did get 4-13 for 50 yards, but you hurt your finger in practice that week.
Yeah, I broke it.
Yeah, you saw. Can you talk about the play in practice? What happened?
Yeah, it was a drill, man, that we was doing, and it was like a little tackling drill. I shouldn't even been in the drill. And my finger got stuck in his pads, like his t-shirt, and it broke my finger, and I couldn't even. It was all crooked. I had to go tape it up. I couldn't even throw off that hand.
Man, I remember. Hey, and it's crazy how some things we forget until we're like, oh shit, I remember. I broke my damn finger that week at the Harrison game. But that culminated in the first 0-9 season since 1949 under the great Clint Walton. I mean, we just couldn't win. But now, we faced Jay County. You beat Jay County.
Yeah.
So that next week, first game of the second game, first game of the section. Yeah, we faced Jay County, and
we beat
38-20. Yep. We beat them 38-20. Will had a lot of direct snap, looks like, in that game, and he had a 67-yarder second play of the game, which he was moving, or that or something like that. But
I took off on that game. I think I ran one down the field on that game.
I believe so. No, that was the next week at Norwell, because that was when we found out. Remember, so we went up. We beat Jay County in the second game of the sectional. We went up to Norwell.
County, I remember scoring. I remember it on my highlights. Yeah, I scored County. It was a 34 belly. That's what I scored on.
Yep, I got that in there.
Yep. Yeah.
And so that next week you had a 57-yard run in the first quarter, and you also had a 70-yard interception touch and a 70-yard interception
remember,
return for a touchdown. We had the spin
yeah,
move. He fought off a
yeah,
dude to the end zone. Man, talk to
yeah.
me about that. Talk to me about that interception
I
play.
just remember we needed that win. You know what I mean? And I told him, I
Yeah,
said, man, if you
it was
guys can't
snowing
just
and
keep
everything. It was on
playing
Halloween.
one side of the ball, I'm like, man, put
Mm-hmm.
me on both sides of the ball. I got the
Yep,
cardio to do it. You know
yep.
what I mean?
And you did it. You did it
So
on
yeah,
both sides of the ball.
yeah, both sides of the ball. So yeah, I
That's
forgot.
what greatness, man. You can see how it's just, hey, like I said, you was fighting the spin moving. It was snowing. I
Yeah,
was
I remember.
being cold as hell, man. I was
Yeah,
cold standing out there, man. But Kiran had a fourth quarter 5-yard run touchdown, and we didn't pass. We just ran.
yeah,
But they knew our fakes though, so that's why they
yeah,
was dark. They knew, boom, boom, Kiran did
yeah,
it. Boom, here jet sweep for Rico, or you know what I'm saying. They knew we didn't
yeah.
have said to pound it. So could you tell that they were reading our keys and stuff?
In the Norwell game or
Yeah,
the
the
so the
Norwell game.
Norwell was just bad, man. Norwell was just yeah, they were reading everything.
Yeah,
Like
and they had
Norwell
that big
got out.
dude. His
Man,
brother played
yeah,
for
the
the Colts.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
Pearson Harnish. Shit, he had 200
he
yards rushing in 3 quarters. They sat in the
oh
fourth
that
quarter.
dude, yeah, he's
Right. And
yeah, he was a
linebacker
beast.
too. He was a
Yeah, he was a beast.
linebacker yeah, man, that was tough. But we got that's when we found out Cam had cancer, and
Mhm.
two for four passes, 14 yards, 19 yards rushing, 43-yard touchdown, 2 sacks.
That was the Norwell game.
Yeah, that was a Norwell
Yeah,
game.
man. I remember there's never been a football game where I'm like, man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
This
boy,
game,
I was
it was so
frozen.
cold.
I was
It was,
frozen, man.
man, there was no trees out
Snowflakes.
there. Yeah, it
It
was
was a
bad,
sad
man.
game, and we getting our asses beat.
And I'm like,
Karan,
hey, let's
Karan
go.
scored
Let's
that
hit the bus.
touchdown. Hey, Karan scored that touchdown. I was like, thank goodness. Thank goodness. But so now, after that, you swam. So what made you go into swimming as opposed to wrestling that year, that sophomore year?
Really, it was just because I was having training for like the national tournaments for boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to just try the swimming because I've always heard, it can boost your cardio up
Yeah.
and
And that
boost a lot.
buoyancy, yeah, that
Man,
lactate.
I tell you what, it's probably one of the hardest sports I've ever done. And the thing was that they wanted me to swim for the team,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't swim for the team. I was
Mm.
just going out there getting practice with them, just
Well, with them.
getting that push, like to motivate me to
Yeah.
swim back and forth. Just
And
because
it
I know if
worked.
I did it by myself, I couldn't push myself like how
Yeah.
they were pushing.
I'm with the
So
best
it's
cats in the
actually,
school.
yeah, man. They wanted me to swim, but I didn't. I never swam in meet.
Mm-hmm.
I was just swimming with the team just to get better. I mean, get my cardio up.
Mm-hmm. That's good
Yeah.
stuff. So in between football season and after that swim season, so you went into boxing like Golden Gloves and different things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So I went. I had a bunch of different fights that
Mm-hmm.
year. Uh. So yeah, I went down there and
Made it happen, man.
uh. Yeah, made it happen.
That's good stuff, man. So now let's get into
Yeah.
junior year, 2015, first game at
Oh man,
Huntington.
one of the
First game
hardest
at
years I've ever
Huntington.
worked.
You fractured your left ankle on that one, but you got
Man,
138 yards before your injury, and in the third
yep.
quarter, like on a pitch fumble. What can you talk about that play?
So it was a what is that? A 39 zoom, I think they called it.
Mm-hmm.
No, a 19 zoom. That's what it was.
19
19
zoom.
zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. So I took off and I ran. I ran on the outside and I got tackled up top, and
Mm-hmm.
two people tackled me from the bottom, and I just
Mm.
remember. I just remember it
Ah,
snapping,
yeah,
and as soon as I try to get up, it just no way, boom, drop
yeah.
right back down.
I remember you was
Man,
in.
I was so sad, man. That was
Yeah,
probably the worst. Man,
I
really,
remember.
just because
First
I
game of the
trained,
year.
I trained my butt off that year too. Like I'm talking about, I was putting on weight.
Yep.
I was doing more than I ever have, and I really started
Mm-hmm.
studying the game. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Reading the defenses, doing all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, sure enough, the first
It happened.
game, Yep, we were winning too that game. We were
Yeah,
winning.
we
We were
were.
winning.
Yeah, we were. Isaiah came in Hamilton after you, got 8 of 17, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
Iran had an
yeah,
8-yard TD, and at Huntington North had a last second touchdown before halftime, which was probably
yeah,
like a breakdown, but they ended up winning that. Now the next game you were out against Mount Vernon, which we lost at home, and they was up 43-0 at halftime. And
yeah. I was out
yeah,
that entire.
Karan had a 6-yard TD catch with 1 second left. So we on to the next. But now that Kokomo game, that's when Jai came in because Isaiah had a concussion, and then they beat us 54-0 at home. Next home game, Anderson. We had them up 33-7. We did good the second half, but they ended up. Karan missed that game to go to his grandfather's
I
funeral.
ain't gonna lie. I think that year, man, we would have beat a lot of different teams if we had that ball thrown out there, man. Like
Yeah, I mean the
all
talent.
it
You had
was.
X and Derek and man.
We had, but I'm telling you, that was one of the hardest years we've ever worked.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were in the off season going crazy. We was going
Hard,
hard,
yes,
and
yes.
that was one of the best times I felt. Like I'm like, yep, learned the entire playbook, knew it
Mhm.
by heart.
But
Started learning, different
yeah,
reads,
learning the game, the
how to read.
nuance of the game.
Yeah, everything that I never really thought of,
Mm-hmm.
like like my freshman and sophomore year. So my
Yeah,
junior year, I really studied, and I'm like, all right, like I'm gonna turn this whole
this
thing
is it.
around.
A lot
Yeah,
of times the light turns on for the students on junior year. Uh, Now, Derek at that Anderson game, Derek and Mark Contreras was at quarterback.
yeah.
So, which wasn't too bad. But now the next game at Richmond, they whooped us. They was up 41-0 at halftime.
But
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. Imagine you ain't got the ball, you can't throw the ball out there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That makes a huge
yeah.
difference
If
because
it's
they know
1-2, boom.
yeah, they know you ain't gonna throw the ball right there. They know you're gonna run before you throw because the quarterback's out.
That's
You know?
it. That's it. Now this next game, shit, it was Logansport homecoming. Neither one of us had won a game, and shit, they beat us 55-25.
Yep.
Isaiah was quarter.
I remember,
Josh
man. I
started.
remember being up in the because they put me in the
Mm-hmm.
booth because I had said I was
Yeah, yeah, I
trying to read
remember that.
plays.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and yeah, man, it was sad.
They had an
Yeah,
88-yard kickoff to start the game, and shit.
yeah, it's
Jai
sad.
had 8 carries for 60 yards, but they replaced him with Isaiah at halftime. Teron had
Yeah,
142 yards rushing, was good. Hell, Marcus Smith had a big game. I mean, we tried. We tried. They just couldn't do it. So now
you
that
just
next game
do
is our
it.
homecoming game.
Yeah.
You didn't play in that one either. Bonzi Wells' son.
No, so
What
the
happened?
homecoming, the homecoming, I actually I got uh I remember I got cleared, which I probably shouldn't have got cleared. It was still like a hairline fracture in it. And
Yeah.
they told me like, yeah, you probably shouldn't play. I'm like, look, man, just clear me
Mm-hmm.
and whatever I can't do, I can't do. So
It
I
was
remember
6 weeks.
I remember Megan, she wrapped it up like a huge boot and they put me
Yeah.
on defense. I told them don't put me at quarterback right now, just unless they need me, because I couldn't really run on it. I couldn't run
Yeah.
on it,
Hey,
and yeah, man, it was nuts. I shouldn't
crazy,
even been out there playing.
crazy memories, man. But yeah, Muncie whooped us. Bonzi Wells' son was going crazy. Big boy had 200 yards. I think it's on YouTube if I'm not mistaken. Kiran
Yeah,
scored. Uh, and we went to Tech that next game, and that was 55-7. They beat us. Uh, both of you guys combined went 4 for 9. Kiran did have a third quarter 19-yard run, but that was about it. And so
mm-hmm.
now we got a home game against Harrison, and both of you guys combined 7 of 19, 1 interception. You got 7 carries for 37 yards. You did run the ball in that game against Harrison,
Mm-hmm.
but shit, they was just too much for us. So then we go up to Fort Wayne South, and uh, Isaiah,
Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne South Side, and the
Well,
Green
I
Spike.
remember that year, me and the coach got into it because I remember we was on the sidelines and Coach Funches kept telling Vermillion to put me in. He said, "Put him in, like quit." Like he was just trying to prove a point.
Yeah,
Vermillion was trying to prove a point that game, and instead of trying to prove a point, how about we win a game? Put me, for me to get back in the position. But I remember me and him got in an argument the day before that game, so he didn't start me at quarterback. I'm like, all right, I'm like, hey, you want to go ahead, go home? You know, you got a certain amount of games you got to win.
But
So
you did
if
it.
you want to win them,
yeah. Kiran did good. Marcus had a 19-yard touchdown, and it looks like Dre Aguilar got a touchdown in that game too, which was good. Because, they really didn't play him much after that, at tight end. So let's go right into that senior year of actually, let's go to your junior year of wrestling. How was that under Coach Stewart after he had coached you in football?
Coach Stewart, man, he was a good guy, man. He always wanted me to wrestle. And I haven't wrestled since what was it, 8th grade. I think I went like 20-2, I think, in 8th grade or something like that. But I was good at wrestling. I don't know, man. I should have wrestled, my freshman and sophomore year. But yeah, my first year back, I went in and I was just, mean. You know what I mean? I was just trying to beat everybody. Whether the technique was there or not. There was certain stuff that people was getting me in, and then I would get mad and I would tell like my friends the next practice, like, hey, show me how to get out of this or how to do it. And then once I started really like studying it, like how I did football and stuff like that, it was, man, it was hard. I made it to semi-state my very first year that I wrestled.
Yes, sir. Just off being tough and learning as the season went on.
Yeah, as the season went on.
That's cool as hell, man. I love it. So now we go into senior year, and that was Coach Chambers.
Yeah.
Did you have the turbo saw? Did you have a turbo saw?
Oh, the black one, the black turbo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a black turbo.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, yeah, okay. Because a lot is coming back for me.
It was my dad's. Yeah, it was my dad's.
Okay. Yeah. I think I remember it. It was like the stuff was coming in. So that, Coach Chambers first coming in, trying to change in the program. He had Tyrell and he had Dante, which was a great addition.
Yeah.
Yep. And JK didn't really even sniff the field until Rel got hurt at Anderson,
Yeah.
But you were in there.
That year, it really came down to what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like what I wanted to further myself in. So in football, a lot of my like my scholarships and stuff like that were going through for defense. It was just because I was a skilled player. You know what I mean? So a lot of Franklin, they wanted me as safety. For Indiana Westland, I could have played at Indiana Westland and played safety.
Yes.
I had a bunch of smaller offers, but they were for me to go play college ball. But they were all for defense. So I remember having to talk with Chambers. He said, what do you want to do? I'm like, shoot, I'd love to go straight defense. I'm like, I would love to hit somebody and you know what I mean? But honestly though, if I knew I wasn't going to play college football, I probably would have just stuck to, quarterback running it. And,
quarterback,
yeah, me and Thomas would have got it in. You know what I mean? We would have been fighting for that position.
And that's what it was. Thomas had sat out that year after transfer from Carmel, and then he come in, big prototypical 6'3", 200-pound quarterback.
But I feel like everything happens for a reason, man. Like just like Vermillion, he only had to win I don't know how many games it was, 3 or 4 games that year. And the first game I got hurt. So imagine if we would have won all them games, he would have still been there, for the next couple years. Chambers never would have Chambers never would have came
Would
my
never would have
senior year.
came. Man, I told somebody today at practice, I was like, those wins and losses by the students affect the adults' futures.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
what avenues, if I, like you said, if I beat these guys and I go, 6-4, then dude don't even come from Hal. There's
yeah,
no even,
yeah.
and then
No,
things are different. And
yeah,
what
they
if he
wouldn't have
gets
they
us?
wouldn't have came. They
Yeah.
told Vermillion he went. I don't know if it was half his games or, but I know that year, if
Mm-hmm.
I would have been in, I promise you we would have won more than half those games. I
Yeah.
promise you. Like it was just, I remember watching it. They just couldn't get the ball out. They
We
couldn't,
just couldn't get it out.
they couldn't read the defenses, and that's when I was just learning all that. And then the
Mm-hmm.
very first game, look, you saw the first game. We came in, we was going.
Huntington whooped
My
him.
like my junior year, my junior year, we was just everything was going smooth.
It was.
Reading the defense, everybody was on point, and then
Yeah.
I got hurt.
And then
Then
we
they
get some
start
new
coming
guys
back.
in,
Yeah, and that's
but you was a
that's
dog
why
on
I feel
defense,
like
man.
everything. I feel like everything happens for a reason, man. I feel like if I never would have got hurt, who
Mm-hmm.
knows? He probably still would have been there.
Hey,
Vermillion probably still would have been there for the next couple years. Chambers never would have came my senior year.
yeah. Let me backtrack though. Now you remember the last alumni versus the faculty.
Yeah, yeah, I remember
Remember the
that, man.
last alumni versus the faculty, man.
Yeah.
Man, we had to beat y'all. We had, hey, Shane was back there. I was running back. We had Big
Yeah.
Will.
Nah, that was cool, man.
That
That was
was
cool. And I can't
that
wait
was
for them to have another alumni.
man. I told Mr. Bryan at the time when he was at the high school about it, but now I think they have another principal from Chicago. I have to talk to her. But we need that alumni.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get Mr. Fauser in. But we need to get that. Hey, you on our side this time,
Yeah, yeah. I'm on
baby.
your side this
You
time.
with us, man. That was so fun. I put it on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I copied my stuff off Huddle because they put it on
Yeah.
Huddle. I copied my highlights off Huddle and put it on YouTube. So I
That's
watch it
cool,
every
man.
weekend. But
It's crazy. My senior year, I didn't even get on Huddle. Like, I mean, just to watch some film, but I never got to highlight all of my highlights, like
mm-hmm.
from defense.
Hey, it's still on there. I think
Yeah.
I think the 20.
I gotta go through the games and just reminisce a little bit. Go
I
check
think
them
we can
out,
go
man.
back. I'm gonna have to go back because I'm thinking I'm at like 10 years now at the high school. I'm like, man, started off with Zoe and him. Now I'm on
Yeah.
y'all 25. Shit, these cats
Yeah.
here 13, 14 now. I'm
Yeah.
like, shit,
Crazy.
it's crazy how the years are going by. But let's finish up here. So like I said, with Kokomo whooped us. They was up 21-0 in the third. They ended up beating us 21-12. But Tate had a 47-yard catch, and T Stone had a 2-yard run, and that helped us. But now the Anderson game, that was when Rel had damn near 250 yards in the first half, and he tore his knee up, and that affected him for the rest of the year. But that was the burn for J.K. And J.K. had 2 TD catches in that game, and he ain't never looked back. And he's one of the all-time greats, and he missed the first bunch of games. And then he got hurt against Mississippi, missed those games. So I talked to him. Hopefully he's up in Canada. Once he gets settled, we'll talk to him. But let's move on with us. Now, that Muncie game was probably T Stone's best game, where he had 5 touchdowns, 300 yards, 3 TDs. But we ended up losing that game. But now the next game, that was when you guys, we played Tech at home, and I don't think it was you, Derek, X, and somebody else took Cam's jersey out to the coin toss. And there's an iconic picture from behind of you guys walking to do the coin toss and everything. Because he had ended up dying that Wednesday, and then we was crushed. I mean, some kids leave practice, go right down to Indy. Like I remember that Huntington game, that first game of the year, he came up. I took that iconic picture of him with his 42 jersey and the blonde hair. And frail,
Yeah.
and it hurt. It hurt. I remember taking that picture with a digital camera, and I was like, I almost felt like I was intruding. So I took two, and I deleted one, and the one that everybody sees is that one of him standing on the sideline, kind of with his head down. And I wish
Yeah.
I had kept the other one, man. He was a dog, like that.
Yeah.
Remember, he was your fullback.
Yep.
That Madison Grant game that we came from behind and won. He was the
Mm-hmm.
fullback, but he had this big thing on his leg, and then
Yep.
he went from like 190, and he would not go into drills, and he just wouldn't. And then he went
Yeah.
and got it checked out, and it was cancer.
Yeah.
And
That's
I mean, he
the.
went from huge to
Yeah.
80, 70 pounds, and I
Yeah.
love
He
him.
was.
I love him.
He was one of the bigger kids, man. When I was growing
Yeah,
up
went
in
from
elementary.
190 to 70 pounds, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still
Man,
hurt.
crazy. It's crazy how life works,
Life
man.
was like that. And then we're able to grow. I'm 50 years old,
Yeah.
but people say, oh, you're 35. I'm like,
Yeah.
but then they say, how you do it? It's easy. Hey, keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing, bro. Keep doing
Yep.
what you're doing. I've been doing this since 1985, man. And I ain't going to never
Yep.
stop. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on doing what you're doing. And your longevity and your hard work is going to show from the people that's drinking, doping, doing that bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep
Doing
doing what
a
you're
lot
doing.
of. I remember. What was it? It was the homecoming because
Mm-hmm.
I was homecoming king.
Yes, that was
And
Lafayette Jeff.
yeah, I remember Cameron being there. Yeah, I remember Cameron being there, and I gave him my stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if his mom still got. I'm pretty sure
I
she
think
still has like the thing.
at the end of that
But
game, everybody took a knee around him in the end zone. Remember, at the end,
yeah,
he was there with us, and everybody was on the knee. I got all that etched in my mind, man. It's just so
yeah,
crazy, so crazy. But the next game was McCutcheon, and they beat us. But now we're going into sectionals, which is your last game as a Marion Giant. Is that
man,
sectional game against Fort Wayne Dwinger? They were the defending champs, but we had a 14-13 lead in the fourth,
we
and
were winning that game.
yeah, some things
That's
happened.
when they switched me. I started playing. I was cornerback. I really should have been in safety,
Mm-hmm.
but they had Burke's son there.
Yeah.
But really, I love that nickel position. That
Yes.
nickel position. That's when they moved me over there, and I really started loving it. Like, yeah,
Yep.
this is my spot.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a linebacker. It's a
yeah,
Rover Bandit, the money
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Yep. You
yeah,
can thump dudes, man, and that's a
yeah,
great. And you're a thumper like that. That's why I love tough guys. Honestly, when I think about it, prototypical high school Rovers and Bandits are 5'7", 5'8",
yeah,
150 to 55. Anthony
mm,
Reynolds, Kristen Ross, Lorenzo
yeah,
Trevino, just tough,
yeah,
smart. Will smack your ass if you ain't watching.
yeah, yeah, man.
But we were up 13-7 at halftime, and then they come back 14-13 lead. We had a failed 2-point. We had two in the fourth quarter. We had two failed fourth down conversions. We couldn't convert those,
Yeah,
and that hurt us. And then the dude did a double move on the other side, and game was over.
yeah.
Ringer,
Well,
ringer.
yeah, that's just.
Yeah. And
Hey,
then
man,
how did it
part of
feel?
the game.
How did it feel in hindsight, that being your last high school game? 9 years later, 8 years later, 7 years later.
Yeah,
How does it feel?
man.
It's because it cuts off quick. It's like,
Yeah.
oh shit, now it's
Well,
basketball.
it was crazy because I knew it was my last. That was it on the
Mm-hmm.
for the Giants, but I always thought I was gonna play football. After but
Yes.
I was having too many concussions, man. I was hitting people to where I was hurting my own self,
Yep.
and I really had to really think about it. What I really wanted to do,
Yes.
and I didn't know what I wanted to go to school for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to spend money or get in debt right away, like after if I
Stuff
didn't
like
even know
that.
what
Yeah.
I wanted.
Yeah. I
But
was
I knew
still
I
paying.
just had to. I had to take fighting to a whole nother level. And
Yes.
after high school, that's when I took it to a whole nother level. And I'm glad I went that route. But there's not a day, where I'm like, dang, because my
Yeah.
whole life used to revolve like around football.
Yeah.
So a lot of people
Now,
don't even realize like how good at football I really was. They just think
very
of the fight.
good.
You know what
But
I
you
mean?
was
They
good
just
at
think,
wrestling too. He was good at everything, bro.
yeah, yeah. Well, even
Um,
that senior year, yeah,
yeah. Could
that
you talk
senior,
about Coach Johnson, that first year coach?
yeah,
You wrestled for him. He's still there. Good friend of mine. I talked to him today.
yeah.
Could you talk about that?
He's great, solid dude. You know what I mean? The
Yeah,
time when
he the real deal,
when I
man.
was there, we had a solid team.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him about all them trophies that he got in his office.
Oh yeah.
They all of my year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
we had a good team. But
Heck
not
yeah.
that year. I just started going off. I was more mad like about the football season. Like, dang man, like
Mm-hmm.
because it's a team sport, football.
Yes.
Wrestling is still a team, but hey, you go as far as you can
Yes.
because of what you got
Yes, sir.
going.
What you
Yep,
put in, man in the mirror.
yep. But
Yep.
and that's what I loved about
Mm-hmm.
single sports like that, where it's just you
You.
because you can't
Yep.
blame nobody else but yourself. You know what I
Yep.
mean? So
Work you put
that
in.
that year, that year, yeah, I went crazy. I was all conference.
Mm-hmm.
I was all conference. I was regional champ. I was sectional champ.
Yep.
Uh, I made it all the way to semi-state again. Lost my
Mm-hmm.
ticket round to get to state. I was beating the guy the entire time. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to do a stupid move and
Mm-hmm.
call them little stupid moves you do can cost you in the
Yep.
end.
Yep. Get you.
But I really should have went to man. Yeah, I
You
hate
know what I
talking
mean?
about it. I'm like,
You
dang.
know, in hindsight,
But it's okay. Now
you
I'm
did.
just
You
doing
made the
what I
right
do now,
choice.
and
Look what you're
it
doing.
brought me.
You're a professional
Yeah, yeah,
fighter. You're a professional
yeah,
fighter, bro, out of Marion, Indiana. You know,
yeah. And
I
it's crazy.
follow
I
you.
was the first one out of Marion, Indiana, to ever
You know
get
what I'm
ranked
saying?
nationally.
Man, that's
Yeah,
good stuff,
nationally.
man.
I
That's
was ranked
great.
fourth in the whole country. I was
Yes,
ranked fourth in the whole entire country.
that is great. So,
And my weight class was one of the hardest weight classes, man. I fight at
mhm,
147, like in the amateurs,
mhm.
and it was like one of the hardest weight classes. But yeah, I got it, postered up that I was ranked fourth. It says Marion, Indiana. Hey man, I'm still mad about they still ain't put me on that wall, man.
Hey,
They
you
better
know
quit
what?
playing, man.
We have to contact Mark Fauser. He is it
Hey,
is like
I should have been on there.
there's an application. There's kind of like an application thing that you have to fill out, and then you should have
Yeah,
been on there at Allstate at wrestling, and then now
yeah, all that.
professional. You're a professional
Varsity
boxer.
4 years in a
Yep.
row.
4 year starter,
A
no
homecoming team,
freshman, no JV.
all that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You should be
yeah,
on there. I think there's a
yeah,
recent one. Now, what that was kind of funny how that works because the 2018 team went to semi-state and they put G and Ruben up there like before basketball season. And then
yeah,
now
yeah,
Juan Carlos is just now getting on there.
yeah.
But
And
you
it
were
ain't,
before them.
it ain't no disrespect to them. It's just
No, it takes time.
I know what kind of a skilled player I was in
Yeah.
wrestling and football. You
Yeah,
know
you're
what I
gonna
mean?
be on there.
So,
You're gonna be on there.
yeah, but
So
even yeah, on top of that, being ranked fourth in the country, number one in Indiana, two different weight classes
time.
for body.
Big
You
time.
know,
And
it's
only
crazy
two
though. 'Cause,
years. Not even
yeah,
4 years, just 2 years.
yeah,
So that's good. So let's talk about this. What does and we talked about your batch match. We talked about your bouts and matches coming up, but what
yeah.
does the extended future hold for Lorenzo?
Man, I really
We
want.
talk about your children, your beautiful wife, things of that nature.
Yeah, so now I got two kids right now. I have a daughter, she's 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got my son, he's 2. Hey,
Hey,
that boy
ain't
right
nothing like
there.
it, man.
Hey,
There's
he's
nothing
right.
like
Hey,
having a little prince down there, a little mini
hey.
you. You are
When it's
his
football
superhero.
season, hey, that's gonna be his sport, football and wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You are
man.
his superhero, bro.
And the crazy thing is, we got like my brother Nico. He
Mm-hmm.
has 4 boys.
Mm-hmm.
They're all around the same age.
Yes.
Hey, we football.
Tough. bump
My
each other's
sister,
head, boom,
she
it's
has a boy.
everything.
My
Yep.
sister has a boy, and he's
Good
gonna be a
brother.
big boy.
Gonna be some
Yeah,
dogs coming up in the
you're
next
gonna
10,
have
15
you
years.
guys are gonna have a bunch of Trevinos on the football
Hey,
team.
we know one thing, they're gonna be tough, they're gonna be
Yeah,
smart,
definitely.
and they'll
Yeah,
never back down, boy. Never back down, man. I'm
yeah,
so proud to have you on
definitely.
here, so proud to have
Yeah,
you. And
man.
I see the best things are on the way for you, bro.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah.
are you going to have any
Definitely.
fights down at the fairgrounds or any here in Indiana,
Man, it's hard for me to get a fight in Indiana. Uh,
Evansville, or
yeah, nah, it's hard, man. Just ever since I turned pro, uh, they try to get me on like the bigger shows, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But the bigger shows are in like Sacramento,
things
California,
like that?
Vegas. Yeah.
But you know,
But
that's the Diaz boys territory at there.
yeah, they're in Stockton,
Yep, Stockton.
California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've actually trained with you know that Team Alpha Male with Uriah Faber. I helped
Yes.
Chad Mendes. He's like a really big guy in the MMA world.
Mm-hmm.
I helped him last camp. I helped a lot of different guys, you know.
So
Hey,
your
it's about
name
that
is in
time.
there.
Oh yeah, my name's
They
in
say,
there.
"Hey, I
They
need a
definitely,
guy." Boom. There you go.
yeah,
You're always in shape, and it won't take long
yeah,
for you to be right there. And then, like I
yeah.
said,
They
you tough as hell. Just can you, man? Can you imagine as you work your way up, you get the $1 million fights, the
oh
$5 million
yeah.
fights, the
And
$10 million fights? It's coming.
that's yeah,
It's on
it's
the way.
coming.
It's on the
And
way.
that's what a lot of people don't realize. Shoot, all it takes is one fight to to be all the way on top. That's it.
And you are right there,
Uh,
so you right
yeah,
there.
yeah, definitely right there. I'm in the right room that I need to
Mm-hmm.
be
The
in,
right
around
rooms.
the right around the right people.
That's it.
So
That's it.
yeah, that's my goal is to be a UFC world champion. Yep,
Ain't no doubt, baby. No doubt. I
UFC.
believe. I know you can do it.
Yeah,
I
the
know you can
UFC really MMA UFC. That's I'm gonna be a star.
do it.
Yeah,
I already
definitely.
know. I know you 15, 16, 17 years, man. I know you
Yeah,
can do
man.
it, bro. I know you.
I give it another 2 years and I'll be on year and a half. I'll be in the UFC. Watch
Hey,
from this
if I have
interview, a
you,
year and a half to 2 years,
there
I'll
it
be in the
is.
UFC.
Hey, I'm gonna have you back on, and we'll be like, remember, Coach, I told you
Yeah,
last year, and then I'm like, look, that's my dog right there. You see Joe Rogan sitting right there. You see my dude sitting right there. I
yeah,
mean,
most
uh,
definitely.
let's wrap it up on that good note like that, man. Once again, Zoe, thank you for coming, man. Future is
Yeah, man.
up. It's all up, man. And
Appreciate you for having me, man.
man, it's always been all love, like I said, since
Hey, good luck. Hey, good luck to the 2023. The
hey, our
team,
first
man.
game is
Football
coming
team
up. We play Fort Wayne South
tomorrow,
at
right?
home. We at first game is at home, so I hope to see you there.
Yeah, man. I'm about to check it out. What time does it start?
At like 7:30. Yep.
Seven
And then
thirty.
that way, if you
Cool,
see
man.
dude, you can tell him to put you on that wall because you need to be on
Ah,
that
man,
wall.
they should have been put me on. Man, I didn't even want to talk about the
You
ball,
know?
man. They should have been put me
So
on
so
the
I'm gonna
ball.
see you at the Fort Wayne game
Yeah,
tomorrow.
most likely. Yeah, most likely I'll be there.
All right,
I'll come
brother.
check it out.
Hey, God bless you, man, and everything you do in the future. And thanks again for coming on the show, man. And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
man.
have you on
Appreciate
again,
it,
and
man.
we'll talk about even more great things.
Cool, cool. Sounds
Thanks
good, man.
again, so
Thanks for having me.
God bless you, man.
You too.
Like, comment, subscribe so you can get more exciting content from Mr. Martin Productions and the Never Die Podcast.